Now, as a new government, it goes without saying we have inherited a range of different agreements and contracts with vaccine companies and companies that are producing these new therapeutics or treatments. And it is entirely proper, I think, that we conduct an independent review of those arrangements to ensure that they are fit for purpose, both now, over the course of the rest of the year, and into 2023. So I'm happy to announce today, I'm very delighted to announce that Jane Halton AO has agreed to conduct that review for our government as a matter of some urgency. We need to see the results of that review in a pretty timely way. We obviously want it done properly, but we want some feedback through this review in the reasonably near term. There is, I think, no better person in Australia to conduct this review. As you know, Jane is a former Secretary of the Department of Health and of the Department of Finance. She is widely respected across the community and, importantly, in this building, across the aisle by both parties for whom she has worked in government. She, as you all know, conducted the quarantine review for the former government and is better connected to the global landscape in this pandemic, I think, than any other Australian. As a former chair of the World Health Assembly and the Health Committee of the OECD, she is also, importantly, the co-chair of COVAX, which is the organisation set up to ensure that developing countries have access to these COVID vaccines, and the chair also of CEPI, the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness and Innovation, which is funding a lot of the innovative trials for the next generation of vaccines, beyond the variant vaccines I've talked about, but really quite innovative projects to get even more effective vaccines onto the market for COVID. So Jane is absolutely the right person to conduct this review for government. As I've said, there is no hard deadline for this review to be completed, but it's obviously something we want conducted in weeks, not many months. We need, given the developments I've talked about, both in terms of the spread of these new subvariants, but also the opportunity being presented by new vaccine and treatment products, we need to make sure that we have the best information available to us sooner rather than later. I guess the key elements of Ms Halton's review will be, firstly, to take stock of the current contracts and the existing supplies we have in country of vaccines and treatments. All of the vaccines for all different age groups, obviously also taking into account the developments in relation to under 5-year-olds. I'm also asking Ms Halton, to the extent this is possible, to cast forward and to provide us with some advice about likely developments in this area over the rest of 2022 and into 2023, both in terms of the likely development of this virus and what that might throw at countries around the world, but also the likely developments in relation to vaccines and treatments. And thirdly, obviously, whether any changes to the existing arrangements that we've inherited from the former government should be made in the light of that examination of the landscape over the coming 12 to 18 months. Can I say that we are determined as a government to stay on the front foot in the fight against this virus and ensure that the Australian community has priority access to the best possible vaccine protection against this virus and all of its variants, and the best possible cutting-edge treatments to prevent severe illness and death for vulnerable Australians.